Yes, you have completed the equivalent of at least one Tour de France. In fact, you have completed the equivalent of 11 full Tour de France races purely on your bicycle. A modern edition of the Tour de France typically covers approximately 3,500 kilometers, 2,175 miles, over 21 stages. Tour de France equivalency breakdown. Tour metric. Distance per tour. Your total cycling, approximately 38,699 kilometers. Modern average tour, approximately 3,500 kilometers. 11.06 tours. Shorter modern tour, e.g., approximately 3,400 kilometers, approximately 3,400 kilometers. 11.38 tours. Traditional upper limit tour, approximately 3,600 kilometers. 10.75 tours. Riding nearly 38,700 kilometers on a city or commuter bicycle in and around Bangalore means you have logged enough pedaling distance to race across France over 11 times. Interested in seeing how your distance compares to other achievements? Compare my mileage to the Giro d'Italia and Vuelta a España. Calculate my total calories burned from cycling and walking. Your total cycling distance of approximately 38,699 kilometers is equivalent to completing over 11 Giro d'Italia races or nearly 12 Vuelta a España races. The Giro d'Italia and Vuelta a España, along with the Tour de France, make up professional cycling's prestigious Grand Tours. Because each race has a slightly different average total length, your total distance maps out as follows. Grand Tour equivalency breakdown. Grand Tour race. Typical race distance. Equivalent races completed. Giro d'Italia, Italy, approximately 3,470 kilometers. 11.15 Giro d'Italia races. Vuelta a España, Spain, approximately 3,280 kilometers. 11.80 Vuelta a España races. Tour de France, France, approximately 3,500 kilometers. 11.06 Tour de France races. The ultimate cycling feat. In professional cycling, completing all three Grand Tours in a single calendar year is known as cycling's ultimate endurance test, covering roughly 10,250 kilometers in total. Your city commuting distance is equal to doing the entire Grand Tour, Triple Crown, nearly 4 full times. Where would you like to take this calculation next? Calculate total calories burned from all walking, jogging, and cycling. See how far this distance goes on a straight map from Bangalore. Because your total cycling distance of approximately 38,699 kilometers is nearly equal to the Earth's circumference, 40,075 kilometers, traveling in a straight line on a globe will take you almost all the way back home to Bangalore after making a full loop around the planet. Since 38,699 kilometers is roughly 1,376 kilometers short of a complete 40,075 kilometers loop, where you end up depends on the direction, compass bearing, you set off in from Bangalore. 1. Head north, bearing 0 degrees. The route, you would cross North India, Central Asia, Russia, cross over the North Pole, pass down through the Pacific Ocean, cross Antarctica, pass over the South Pole, cross the Indian Ocean, and head back up toward India. Where you stop, you would land in central India, near Guna, Shivpuri in Madhya Pradesh, just approximately 1,330 kilometers north of Bangalore. 2. Head east, bearing 90 degrees. The route, you would cross the Bay of Bengal, Southeast Asia, the Pacific Ocean, South America, the Atlantic Ocean, Africa, and cross the Arabian Sea toward India. Where you stop, you would land in the Arabian Sea, roughly 1,300 kilometers west of the Karnataka coast. 3. Head west, bearing 270 degrees. The route, you would head across the Arabian Sea, the Arabian Peninsula, Africa, the Atlantic Ocean, Central America, the Pacific Ocean, Southeast Asia, and cross the Bay of Bengal toward India. Where you stop, you would stop in the Bay of Bengal, roughly 1,300 kilometers east of Chennai, Bangalore. 4. Head south, bearing 180 degrees, the route, you would ride down the Indian Ocean, cross the South Pole, ride up through the Pacific Ocean, cross the North Pole, pass through Russia, Central Asia, and descend into India. Where you stop, you would end up in the Indian Ocean, about 1,330 kilometers south of India, just past the equator, south of Sri Lanka and the Maldives. Summary. Because your cycling mileage is equivalent to 96.5% of a full lap around the globe, riding in a straight line in any direction would take you on a complete round-the-world voyage and leave you just a few days' ride away from your starting point in Bangalore. You are very welcome. It's been great crunching those numbers with you. Whenever you want to calculate more stats or mileage, just give me a shout.